One day, a man was coming back from work, and he was going to his apartment where he lives, and he noticed a beggar outside of his apartment. And this man had just gotten a new job, and so when this beggar had asked him for money, then he gave him $10. He was feeling very generous. And the next day he noticed this man, and the next day and the next day, and so he regularly gave this homeless person $10. Now, in time, this man who was working, he got married. And so in his first day of marriage, and then he went to work and he came back and he saw that person asking for money. This time he gave the man $5. And the next day and the next day, and he regularly gave $5. Then this man, after marriage, had a child, and so when he would come back, now he would give that man $1. And regularly he'd give $1. And one day, this homeless man said to the man that was giving him the money, "Sir, you used to give me $10, and then you started giving me $5. Now you only give me $1. How come? How come you keep giving me less?" And that man said, "When I was giving you $10, it's because I was living by myself. The expenses were less. And then I got married, so I can only give you half. And then now I have a child, so I can only give you $1. So this is why." And that homeless man looks up at him and says, "Why are you running your household on my income?" He believes he's eligible to that $10 forever, and this person is running his household on his income. You know, whenever I begin with these jokes or stories, who am I talking about? Us. We all depend on the world to bring us completion. We are all waiting for that circumstance or that object or that person to come into our lives, and then we will be happy. Isn't it? See, when I talk about someone else, everyone laughs, but if I talk about you, then everyone looks away. But isn't that what we're doing? We're all waiting to be happy. Through our Vedanta and Ramayana course, we are learning to be independent. We are learning not to be like that homeless man who's depending on this world to keep on changing according to us. We are learning to be so independent that if the world is not there, we will still be complete. Now, to learn to be independent is not easy. Just think about eating dosa without pickle. Difficult, isn't it? Just think about not having heated car seats. Difficult. Try not waking up with an alarm clock. We are dependent in every direction. And so, for us to learn to be absolutely independent, let us start by just enjoying the name of the divine. In our case, Rama. Swami Chinmaya encouraged people to listen to Swami Tejamayananda's discourses on Ramayana in Hindi. And there's many English speakers there. but didn't know Hindi. And Swami Chinmaya would say, because every once in a while you'll hear a word that you do know, which is Ram. What else is there in Ramayana other than Ram? And still people found this difficult to absorb. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, all of Srimad Bhagavatam has a singular purpose, and that is for people to be in love with the name of the divine. And this is most practical because as you think, so you become. So as we train ourselves to be independent, start by keeping your head and heart open to the name of the divine. Last week, Bhagavan Rama was born. But prior to his birth, there was a lot of preparation that was happening. People were cleaning their homes, people were cleaning their clothes, people were fasting. Like for those who go on the Shabarimala Yatra, for 40 days, they abstain from indulgence. In our present living areas, it's like Lent. For 40 days you don't eat meat, as an example. So everyone was preparing. Now what does that mean for us? It means engaging in sadhana. And I heard a very beautiful definition of sadhana recently. Sad means to accomplish. Na means not letting anything stop you from accomplishing what you want to. So once you begin your aspiration, your sankalpa to become independent, that's your sad. Na, nothing is to stop you. No excuses for getting up late. No excuses for being impatient. Only with such a preparation does Bhagavan Rama take birth. Bhagavan Rama being born is the sadhya. The sadhya is where we are reaching the aspiration that we want to reach, and that is the birth of Bhagavan Rama. When Bhagavan Rama was born, and so many people came and told Raja Dasharatha and so on and so forth that he's born, whenever someone gives you good news, you have to share with them. They're sharing with you, you share with them. So we see in the Ramayana serial, everyone's giving crowns and necklaces and rings and all of that. There is so much joy in Ayodhya. There is so much distribution of wealth that in the gutters, there is jewels and necklaces and bangles and anklets. They're just lying everywhere. And what that shows for us is once you found peace, what good is possession? What good is position when peace is in your heart? The way that Swami Tejramananda shares this, when your heart is full, what else gets full? Your stomach. So many of us escape by eating, isn't it? But when your heart is full, your stomach is full. When your heart is full, your needs come down. And from the moment Bhagavan Rama was born, that was Ram Rajya. Ram Rajya is where there's prosperity and there's peace. Which one comes first? Peace. If there's peace, prosperity will come. If there's prosperity, peace may or may not come. So what is the more assured investment? Peace. And even the citizens in Ayodhya, even the illiterate people in Ayodhya knew that. Yet we still need to take courses on prioritization, isn't it? We continue. I am on page 139. I'm reading the Doha in the 198th section. So the 198 is the section of Chopais, sorry. I'm reading the Doha, so line 1 and 2 on page 139. Vyapaka Brahma Niranjana Nirguna Vigata Vinoda So Aja Prema Bhagati Basa Kausalya Ke God. What is being described right now is that Brahman who is incomparable. Where is he right now? In the lap of Mother Kausalya. So what is the history behind all of this? When Bhagwan Rama was born, who's narrating this detail right now? Bhagwan Shiva is to Mother Parvati. And Bhagwan Shiva tells Mother Parvati a secret. He said that when Bhagwan Rama was born, I couldn't help but go see him too. So he disguised himself as an astrologer. And he took Kaka Bhushundi with him too, who was his bard. You know, you always need someone to praise you so that you build credibility. So Kaka Bhushundi was saying, the greatest astrologer in the whole universe has come. He has 3 eyes and his skin is infinite like the ocean, which is all true, correct? It is Bhagwan Shiva. So Kaka Bhushundi is saying this, and Bhagwan Shiva is dressed as this astrologer. So Raja Dasharatha calls him, please tell me the future of my son, of my sons. And Lord Shiva took Bhagwan Rama and just hugged him. And he was just hugging him, and Raja Dasharatha is like, you're supposed to read his hands. Why are you hugging him? And then Bhagwan Shiva, he kind of put him away and said, oh, he will be infinite, and he will be prosperous, and he will be the ruler of all of the kingdoms and all of that. And it is all the truth. And then Bhagwan Shiva came back to be with Mother Parvati, and Bhagwan's Sisu Leela continued. Bhagwan Rama, he was a most beautiful child. It shared on the sole of his feet. There was a symbol of a dhwaja. Now, dhwaja means a flag. There's a symbol of a vajra, which is the lightning bolt. And there's an ankusha, which is like a goad. It shared that his lips were so red without lipstick, that his hair was so naturally curly, it would bounce. And he would wear these anklets and this waist he'd have bells too. And so everybody always knew where he was, but everyone would hear those bells. Like he was running around everywhere. And this continued for 10 days. And after the 10th day, what begins? Namakarana. So Raja Dasharatha calls Rishi Vashishta and says, we need to give our sons names. And so Rishi Vashishta comes, and it's not like Raja Dasharatha said, we have this list of names and you tell us which one is best. It was simply, you tell us what our sons will be named. And so on the 11th day, the names were given, and I'm going to spend some time explaining to you what these names mean. And on a humorous note, when an infant is born, the father is supposed to feed that infant 3 things. This is the first time that infant is eating independently. Prior to that, the mother is feeding the infant. What are the 3 things? The father feeds ghee. Ghee is butter. And what part of India do people eat a lot of ghee on their paranthas? Punjab, right? To be strong. Ghee, may all of this child's experiences be strong. And then honey, but we have some pediatricians in the class, so they don't like this idea of honey. So sugar. You feed sugar. And the idea is that may all of this child's experiences be sweet. And finally, curd. So you got Punjab, you have Gujarat, now you go to the south. Curd, may all of this child's experiences be serene. So right from the start, that's supposed to happen. And then in the 11th day, the name is given. Now, why 11 days? You have to think about this practically. Many times back in the day, infant mortality was quite high. And so as soon as you give a name, you become attached. So they prevented that by allowing that child to be independent for 10 days. And if they're still independent, with God's grace, then a name is given to protect that family. Now, as soon as you leave the hospital, you can't leave the hospital without a name, isn't it? In one place I was teaching this to high school students. And I said, why do you think the name was given after 11 days and not on the first day? And the high school student said, because when that father saw that baby being born, he fainted. So he wasn't there to give the name. It took him 10 days to come back to regaining consciousness. After the names were given, then when Bhagwan Rama was 1 year old, his mundan was done. They shaved his head. After they shaved his head, Chudakarna was done. He was given earrings. And Bhagwan Rama and his brothers followed all of the samskaras. These brothers, Bhagwan Rama is described as being dark like a rain cloud. Now, a rain cloud is much more beautiful if you think of the monsoons. For us, I'll try to describe Bhagwan Rama's complexion to you. You know, in a morning winter sky, it's blue. It's not night, it's not day. It's a very Vishnu blue is what I like to call it. So tomorrow morning when you wake up, what time are you waking up these days? 3, right? So you can observe this change. Pay attention to that, the color of the sky. That's like Bhagwan Rama. And how was Sri Bharata's complexion? Fair. Like when you see in Shadi.com, Swedish complexion, Sri Bharata. How is Shatrughna? Dark. How is Sri Lakshmana? Fair. And these brothers had a natural affinity to each other that Sri Lakshmana was just drawn to Sri Rama and Sri Shatrughna was just drawn to Sri Bharata. And all of them were drawn to their parents. And that's why I read this doha where they're just being held by their mothers. Okay? So that's the Katha. Now I'll bring in the Vedanta. In one of the chopais here, Bhagwan Rama is described as Muni Dhana. What is the wealth of Munis? Yeah, Jnana, or in this case, Bhagwan Rama. Jana Sarabasa. Jana means for a devotee, what is Bhagwan Rama? Everything. And now the most important point I want to make here. Shiva, it says it right here, Siva Prana. And to Bhagwan Shiva, what is Bhagwan Rama? He's breath. He's life. And I specifically highlight that because so many people, they have a confusion between the relationship of Bhagwan Shiva and Bhagwan Vishnu. Siva Prana is shared there. Now, if this was about Shiva Prana, it would say Vishnu Prana, correct? What is the breath of Bhagwan Vishnu? Bhagwan Shiva. This is called Yatha Drishti Tatha Srishti. As your vision, as the basis for your personality, so is creation. For someone who is a miser, what is their wealth? Stuff. For someone who's peaceful, what is their wealth? Bhagwan Rama. For someone who loves Bhagwan Vishnu, then Bhagwan Shiva is the supporter. But if you love Bhagwan Shiva, Bhagwan Vishnu is a supporter. Which one is right? It's right for you. Sanatana Dharma is not a comparative religion. Whatever is right for you. Some people love Bhagwan Krishna as a baby. Like sitting on that leaf, sucking on his own toe. Some people love Bhagwan Shiva as Gita Acharya, the one who speaks from the chariot. Some people love Hanumanji tearing his chest open and Bhagwan Rama is there. Some people love Hanumanji as a Sadguru, wise older monkey teaching. Which one is the best? Whatever brings out the best in you is the best. Through this simple teaching, we are learning to stop comparing. If you compare, you will be jealous. If you're jealous, you will be insecure. So now we go to the samskaras. Raising a child is not a casual affair, is it? I have lots of parents sitting here. Is it a casual affair? If you've raised your kids casually, they are going to grow up casually also, isn't it? Just today we were saying that in Ontario, to be able to go from a learner's permit to driving full out, it requires around 2 years and 3 tests. Written test, street test, highway test. To be a parent, what do you need to do? As long as you physiologically can be a parent, you can do whatever you want, correct? No training to be a parent, but training to drive a car. We have a very confused societal system. But you see here, those parents have such faith in the Sadguru. Sadguru, you know more. You are peaceful. All that's important is peace. You give our children names. Swami Tejamananda always jokes. People come and say, Guruji, please give us a name for our child. And as soon as he gives the name, they use something else. They already have their own agenda. So he said, he stopped giving names. Or he'll say, what name do you have in mind? So they'll say Priya or whatever. And he'll say, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Also, which is why Sheila and I have, at least I've agreed, I'm working on Sheila, that we'll ask Swami Tejamananda for 2 names. One more male-oriented and one more female-oriented, and whatever our child happens to be, then we'll take that name. Now, the names that are given by Rishi Vashishta, please try to tune into this. Ramayati Sarvan Iti Rama. Ramayati Sarvan Iti Rama. What is it that all people enjoy? What do you enjoy the most? Happiness. Do you enjoy TV? But if TV becomes boring, then do you enjoy TV? We still do, but we shouldn't, correct? Once it becomes boring, then TV's not fun. You always book a return ticket on your vacations, correct? Because eventually that fun goes away. So really what we enjoy, what we depend on, is happiness. And that's what Rama is. The one who is most dependable. The one who we live for. And that's why another one of his names is the one who comforts all. When you're happy, you're comfortable, correct? When you're unhappy, you can be in the most luxurious circumstance and still be uncomfortable. Ramayati Sarvan. If you forget that your nature is Rama, you become a bhogi. You project happiness on articles, beings, circumstances, and then you get dependent on them. You become a bhogi. But if you remember that your nature is Rama, you become a yogi. You are independent. You are above articles, beings, and circumstances. The only difference is remembrance. Those who remember can practice, and if you don't remember, can't practice. Bharata. Bharata comes from the etymology Bharanat. Bharanat iti Bharata. Bharanat is another name for the sun. What does the sun do to us? Nourishes us. Right now the sun is not nourishing us. That's why everyone looks miserable, feels miserable in the northeast. Pushana. Pushana is another name for the sun. Poshanam, to nourish. Bharata is the symbol of love. We learn how to love when we study Sri Bharata's life. I'm not talking about Valentine's Day love. I'm not talking about Gandharva love. I am talking about who was Sri Bharata's only love? Bhagwan Rama. And Bhagwan Rama's joy, correct? When you love joy, you find joy. As long as you love joy and popularity and Facebook and the new car and iPhone 20 and so on and so forth, then we don't love joy. Bharanat. And isn't it that we love being around people who are loving? Real nourishment doesn't come from water or oxygen. It comes from love. Then Shatrugna's name is mentioned next. Gna means to destroy. Shatru. Shatru comes from the word Shatanat. Shatanat means one who's always bothering you, tormenting you, your enemy. Who is our enemy? Ego. Our Shatru are not outside of us. You may think the person next to you is your enemy. You may think I'm your enemy. But really, the enemy is the ego. Shatrugna, the one who has no enemy. The one who has no ego. Isn't it fascinating that Shatrugna served Sri Bharata? And who did Sri Bharata serve? Sri Rama. Shatrugna was the servant of a servant. Does the servant of a servant have any rights? They only have responsibilities. Shatrugna hardly spoke. Whenever we speak, it's about me, it's about mine. Shatrugna, never me, never mine. Shatrugna. And the last name that's mentioned is Lakshmana. This meaning comes from, the word is Lachan here. The meaning comes from Shubha Lakshana iti Lakshmana. Shubha means auspicious or egoless. Lakshana means indicator. The one who points out how to live egolessly is Lakshmana. And only someone who's pointing out egolessness knows that it is only joy that is egoless. So his whole life was directed towards Lord Rama. These are nice names, correct? The name you give your child should always be what they should live by, what they should aspire to. The name you give your child is quite important. And that's why the guru should give your child's name, because they're connected to that virtue. They're connected to God more than we are. And the last Vedantic point to the katha I've shared thus far is Sri Rama's black, Sri Lakshmana's white, Sri Bharata's white, Shatrugna's black. Did their mothers care? Were their mothers interested in their skin color? You see, if people just picked up on this last point that bhakti, that devotion is not based on skin or gender or any ism, wouldn't the world be a different place? This morning I had a meeting with a group of people and my last thought was, don't leave your country. Why don't leave your country? Because people don't realize that we're more than our skin. If you are a bhakta, you cannot focus on space, time, and matter. Remember when Bhagwan Rama was born? That sun stood there for 30 days. That sun stood there for 30 days because you go past time when you're joyous. Okay? Most practical. I continue. I am on the second line of the second verse of the 204th section of Chopais. Second line, second verse, 204th section of Chopais on page 143. I was saying Bhagavan Rama is going through his samskaras. Here's one of them. It's called Upanayana. The 11th samskara is fast forwarded to Guru Graha Gaye Padana Raghu Rai. Guru Graha. What does that mean? What is the home of the Guru? What do we call that? The Gurukula. Gaye. Padana. How did they get to the Gurukula? Did they fly? Did their parents carry them on their backs? How did they go? Walking. Bhagwan Rama, the ruler of Bharatavarsha, walked there. Raghurai. Alpakala vidya sabai. Alpa means short. Alpakala, in a short period of time, sabavidya. He learned everything that is to be learned in the Gurukula. So now I'll explain some more of this. how we got there. One day, Mother Kaushalya had just finished bathing Bhagwan Rama and put him in his cradle. And he's sleeping happily in his cradle. And then she got a little bit messy looking after him, so she quickly took a bath. And then she went to perform her puja. As a mother, she never neglected the karma part of her life also. And at the end of her puja, she offers naivedya, right? She offers food to the altar. And then she got called away to tend to some matter with one of the maidservants. And when she came back to her altar, she saw Rama there eating all of that prasad, that naivedyam. She got frightened, so she ran back to the cradle, and Bhagwan Rama was there sleeping. She ran back to her altar, Bhagwan Rama was there eating. And she was totally stunned by all of this. And she went back to the cradle and she was carrying Rama, unaware of what is happening. And he, through his mind, communicated to her, saying, I am your son. But when you're offering worship and offering naivedyam, who are you offering to? You're offering it to me, right? I have to consume that. So don't be scared by what's happening. I am here in the cradle. I am there eating the prasad. I am you. I am me. I am all. But she's still looking on. And then he smiled and she went back to being a mother. And he disappeared from that altar. I really love just picturing that. He's actually eating that, literally. And then his parents take him to the Gurukula. And when they went to the Gurukula, there they studied the Veda. Now I want to read this line for you also. What is the Gurukula? Jaki sahaja swasa shruti chari. It's shared here. I'll read it in English for you. What great fun that Sri Hari, whose natural breath stands crystallized in the form of the 4 Vedas, should go to school. The breath of Bhagavan Vishnu, when it takes on a form and name, is called the Veda, and he goes to the Gurukula to study that. What fun is that? And I'll explain why that happens, but I'm going to give you one more point to the katha. He learns everything he's supposed to learn in a short period of time. And then he returns to Ayodhya. Okay, everyone's with me? Now the scene ends there, and now we begin a new scene introducing Rishi Vishwamitra. Rishi Vishwamitra is engaged in a lot of yajnas. He's trying to create peace for all beings. But remember Ravana. Ravana's already given word to his family and friends that no yajna should happen. People should only remember him. So specifically, who's bothering Rishi Vishwamitra? Maricha and Subahu. Who does Maricha later become? The golden deer. Maricha and Subahu, they keep spitting in this yajna. They keep defecating in this yajna. It's not shared so elaborately in Tulsi Ramayana. In Valmikiji's Ramayana, it's so specific. They throw dead animals into the yajna. They throw dead bodies into the yajna. And so this is perturbing Rishi Vishwamitra. He knows that Bhagwan Rama is born. So Rishi Vishwamitra leaves that yajna area and goes to Ayodhya. Okay, so now let's bring in some Vedanta. Please tell me in English, what does Maya mean? That which makes the impossible possible, correct? Then I've also shared with you, what does Kripa mean? That which makes the impossible possible. Maya makes the infinite finite. And it is only with Kripa that the finite can return to the infinite. You cannot get out of Maya without Kripa. Here, another definition of That which makes the finite infinite is bhakti. It's shared here that Brahman, who people cannot even think about, Mother Kaushalya's bathing him, sleeping with him. For someone who has bhakti, someone who has love, nothing is impossible. If you become like Mother Kaushalya, then you will realize your infinite potential. And here's how you begin. The mind has to be lost in 4 aspects of Bhagavan. Okay, remember this. Nama, Rupa, Guna, and the last is Dhamma. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Dhamma. Your mind should revel in the name of the Lord and in the form of the Lord and of the qualities of the Lord and of where the Lord will take you, the Dhamma. And the very practical reason for this, it's shared in Ramayana, that Maya stands trembling, praying to Bhagavan. She dances like Bhagavan Rama's eyebrows move like a baby. She dances to his eyebrows. He moves a little bit left, she has to dance left. He looks up there, she has to dance like that. She's trembling in front of Bhagavan Rama, in front of Bhagavan. And if our mind can get connected to Nama, Rupa, Guna, Dhamma, can Maya touch you then? And without bhakti, Maya will own you. You cannot reach Brahman without Bhagavan. I'm going to say that again so you all heard me clearly. You cannot realize Brahman without going through Bhagavan. Now, if you think, who do we pray to? We pray to Maya, isn't it? We pray to Maya for security. We pray to Maya for popularity. We pray to Maya for achievement. Maya is not your well-wisher. Maya is a phantom that says yes, yes, but really it's no, no. Our evolution is to evolve our prayers from praying to Maya to praying to the one that Maya prays to, which is Bhagavan. And the evolution of that prayer is to pray to Bhagavan not for anything. Because if you're praying to Bhagavan for anything, you're still praying for Maya. To pray to Bhagavan for Bhagavan. That's the purest prayer. So in this, I've given you the evolution of how our prayers should be. Now we go to the Kula. Guru Graha, also known as Guru Kula. What does Kula mean? Kula means dynasty. Kula also means school. This is the word school has come from Kula. And most importantly, Kula means family. That's why the Kula Guru is the family teacher. The Guru Graha is actually the family home. We think of this as our home, but really, a child's real parent is their guru because there's no attachment. All of the parents, are you attached to your children? You're all saying no. Are you objective with your children? There, I'll prove it to you. Are you objective with your children? If you are, then you are your child's guru. But if you're not objective, you need someone who is objective. Here in London, we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary, our chapter's 5-year anniversary. So yesterday we celebrated VAH. VAH is Volunteers Appreciation Hangout. And during this time, I was sharing that in this smaller city of London, where there's only 400,000 people, we have essentially created a village, like my parents grew up in, like my grandparents grew up in. Because a family doesn't raise a child, a village does, correct? That's what the Gurukula is. And Bhagavan Rama in the Gurukula was able to learn all in a short period of time because he was faithful. Faith is expressed as discipline. What Goswamiji uses, the word is obedience. But you and I, we don't understand obedience, so I've actually not used that word. If you are faithful towards a cause, towards a purpose, towards an idea, you will be disciplined towards that. And if you're not, you do not have faith towards that. Do you all have faith in the gym? You're all saying, did you go to the gym today? See, how can you say you have faith if you're not disciplined towards that? Bhagwan Rama's breath is the Shruti, and he still went to the Gurukul. Who else did? Lord Krishna. And here you and I are thinking, yeah, we can learn this by ourselves. I can listen to audio discourses. I can watch YouTube videos. That's not the Gurukul. Without a relationship with the Sadguru, you only get information. Do not pat yourself on the back for how much information you have. When you develop a relationship, information becomes knowledge. The opposite of avidya is not information. The opposite of avidya is knowledge. That only comes with a relationship. I've shared many times in the Advanced Vedanta course. In higher Vedanta, I'm not talking about social media Vedanta. In higher Vedanta, equal to what is being said is who is sharing. That Sadguru, out of their purity, makes you understand. You don't even know what's happening, but it's their purity that makes you understand what they're teaching. Goswamiji says, right before he shifts scenes, he says that anyone who's enjoying what is being studied so far, Goswamiji says this, not Vivek. Anyone who's enjoying what is being shared, that's a sign of their growth. It is providence that's being favorable to them. And he says anyone who's not enjoying this, providence has not been generous with them. So you think for yourself now. We're about to change scenes where Bhagwan Rama is really growing up from a boy to he's going to pick up his bow and arrow. He's about to get married soon. Are you enjoying? Is your mind reveling in the Nama, Rupa, Guna, Dhamma? Ravana and his family beating up these yajñashalas and the people there is incidental. Don't you see that Bhagwan Rama is the one who created Ravana? Jaya and Vijaya, Pratapa Bhanu, Narada. He did all of this to help us immerse our minds in Bhagwan rather than Maya. Ravana's incidental. Okay?